Hello, everyone. There we go. How are we doing today? Clearing my throat as I get started here. Got some raging streets going on tonight. Because why not? It's on Game Pass, right? Hey, Thomas. Welcome to the stream. He's doing very well. How are we doing? I'm a little tired, but I'm getting through it. I don't know what it is. It's the first day after a holiday weekend that always kind of goes slow a little bit, but it's a Monday, basically. Making sure I'm actually muting the mic when I do that. Throat's very dry today, too. My allergies have been worked up the last couple of days. Went out and did some relaxing things this weekend. Haven't played this one yet. Yeah, this is one that I've been wanting to try on here. Well, I've been wanting to try for a while, but I decided to go ahead and give it a try now, since it is on Game Pass. I mean, I might as well if I have it. Lots of great games on Game Pass right now. Yes, absolutely. You two are all good, yeah. As I said, it's a Monday. Usually I'm used to starting this stuff. I don't know what that's doing. I'm just gonna, yeah. Is this making it louder on your guys' end? It's not making it louder on my end. Yeah, I have it on monitor and output, but I can barely hear it. There we go. I've always enjoyed the music on these. This part is pre-recorded. I'm just waiting for people to come in. I'll play some live games here in a little bit. So just one player tonight. Although I could play this again. Here we go. 10 years have passed since... Did I say that right? Let's start again. 10 years have passed since the fall of Mr. X and his syndicate. The city has been at peace until now. A new crime empire has arisen, corrupting everything in the good city. It is rumored to be led by Mr. X's own children, the Y twins. Well, we're going there. Former detectives are joining forces. Together, these four vigilantes stand against the Y syndicate on the Streets of Rage. Good thing they're keeping with the 90s synth tunes in there. I would have been disappointed had they done something else. So I'm looking up reviews of this game real quick as I'm getting started. It's got an 82% on Metacritic. I'm assuming that's the critic score. 4.4 out of 5 on whatever VentureBeat is. But 96% of Google users liked this game. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's the critic score. The user score is very close to the critic score for the first time on this. There we go. I mean, honestly, I don't know what I was expecting in terms of art style and graphics, but this works. Got nice cell animations going on here. If I had any complaints at all about the graphics right now, it would be that it's very dark. I'm assuming that'll change as it goes through. Well, they got to take advantage of the HDR since it's at night. Oh, you guys I almost forgot. Turn my stream light on. Is that still in frame? Yeah, there we go. So it sounds a little muted, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I know the sound is always going to be a little bit muted because it's always going to prioritize my voice over the sound. I like how I can just knife the air. Never fails before I start the stream. I always take a wrong breath. I always have to clear my throat several times. And I can feel it. There's something that's like sitting in my throat right now, so I may not be talking as much as I should. Maybe you guys all like that. Alright, so taking a look at some of the stuff on here. Out of 348 ratings on Metacritic, this game has an 8.1 or 82%, which is about what the critic scores are. 45 critics rated it on here. It says there's only number of players can be 2, but I saw 4 characters for Streets of Rage 4, right? The only platform they mention it's on is on Stadia. Which I guess this is one of the ones, I guess, wasn't launched on Stadia. I don't know if it was an exclusive for a little while. I mean, it's on the Switch. As well as the Xbox and the PlayStation. I'm just playing it on there because it's on Game Pass. I'm gonna have to turn on a dehumidifier down here. It's just getting bad. Hey, Mr. Tamia, welcome to the stream. Just dropping by to say hello, dude, and everyone else. Hey, thanks for stopping in. We're still early in the stream, so there's not too many of us here, but yeah, if you're here, feel free to drop me a line. I will definitely keep up with the chat as we go through this. This part is pre-recorded footage, and I will play some live games here in just a second. Just waiting for people to come in, and this is a game I was just playing the other night, so I thought I would try to showcase this. This does look very dark. Oh, do I have an achievement? Oh no. Oh, I consume a healing item. That's an achievement? I wonder how many that was worth. Was that one? Oh yes, and I finally got this weekly quest ready thing to stop showing up, but I didn't before I recorded this footage. That was driving me crazy. Or as some ice cream flavors would say, Jamaican me crazy. Like how the dark alleys are actually dark. Oh, sheesh. That's something out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right there. So I'm looking at the, let's see here. First user review is in Russian, so I can't read it. Second user review is a 10 out of 10. So proud of the time and care that all the love has gone into this game. It's like Sonic Mania all over again. The music is jumping. I agree with that one. The fists are pumping. Okay. Oh, we got another achievement. Dude, my car. Break a car in the streets. Nice. Breaking cars in the streets, and I don't know what that means in the sheets. Who loves a good beat-em-up will be highly satisfied with this game. There's a user called Black02099 around this time last year with that review. The top review on here is in Russian. 13 out of 15 review users have found this wrong. Do only Russian users now use Metacritic now? Is that where it's going down to? Because all the time it's been hacked and review bombed? Just saying. Really liking the music. I don't think I was listening to the music too much when I actually played this. I ate technology pill earlier this morning. I might have to take one again. I like this review. It's a really good game. I love it because the graphics and music is so great you need to buy it. That's it. That's the whole review. Isn't that everything that a game needs is graphics and sound? I did hear a good quote. I like saying this a lot because it's a very, just to put it in, oh, I hate these. I don't know who I end up calling these. What are these guys with the hands in their pockets? They're very annoying to me. I don't know why. Only because they just keep their hands in their pockets the whole time. And of course they move exactly at the same pace you do away from you. So you have to corner them against the screen. I don't know why it's endlessly satisfying to bash them over the head with a lead pipe. I don't know if it's a lead pipe. Maybe it's a stainless steel pipe. Oh yeah, I like how they can just grab the knife and just go to town with you. Good grief. Here is a 9 out of 10 review. A revamp of the best side-scrolling beat-em-ups of all time. They haven't tried to reinvent the wheel because they didn't need to. The same reason Rolex hasn't changed the day and date since 1956. It works. 1956? That seems kind of late for a change to Rolex watches. I feel like they've been the same since like the 1800s, but maybe that's just me. I've never owned a Rolex, so you have to correct me on that. All you Rolex-wearing stream watchers out there. The developers paid homage to the fans. This is a quality title, properly done. Hats off to you gents. So this person must be an overseas gentleman. Doesn't sound like something one of us in America would write. So we have a Russian review, which I can't read, which is the most helpful. Least helpful to me. Alright, here's an 8 out of 10. Only 1 out of 3 users found this helpful. 2 things made me drop 2 points from giving a full score. Number 1, when you press jump and attack at the same time, the character doesn't jump and instead does a back attack. I don't think I ran into that issue. It's as if the developers are punishing you for that convenience. Don't know why you're not allowed to press both buttons at the same time and get a jumping attack. I think you jump and then press attack. You don't press them at the same time. I will admit, sometimes it feels like you're stuck in an area. Or not stuck in an area, but stuck and you can't move. And you just gotta take the beating that gets to you. I hate this lady that lets the electrical shocks out around her. Hate's such a strong word. I loathe. Is that better? Loathe that lady, the electrical lady. Yeah, I don't think I ran into that issue in this game. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the stream. Eating, my man, got tonight free. Figure out you'll chillax, enjoy some nature, and enjoy some cool videos. Hopefully you're staying well. I am doing very well, thank you. I actually had a decent time this weekend as well. Got away from screens. I don't do it very often, but I actually got out and went out into nature for a little while. Excuse me, I don't have to blow my nose here. It's just allergies started running as soon as I came down here. Probably need to get the dehumidifier or air purifier back down here. Air's a little stale. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Alright, hopefully that's a little better. I'll turn my webcam back on, and hey, we're back. Alright, let's see. Your chillax, hopefully staying well. Yeah, and I had a... Oh, experience share. Welcome to the stream. How you doing, my man? Did you hop on because you saw the Series X? This is not a Series X game, but I did play it on my Series X, so that's why I had to give some love out to that. And of course, that's the reason why I have Game Pass. This is a game I had been wanting to try for quite a while. Oh, I had to pause for a second for some reason. That'll come back up here in a second. Excellent, need to unplug and recharge. Yeah, it was just nice. I went out there with my family. My brother, his wife, my parents, and a lot of my sister-in-law's family was just out at this property. I actually did some real in-life fishing. I haven't done that in years. Which I was allowed to do on private property. Technically, you have to have a license to fish in Illinois. So if anyone's watching from law enforcement, I was not fishing this weekend. So yeah, it was a very good weekend so far. All right, I'm gonna try to do this. It doesn't usually work out. I gotta try to fast forward past my pause. Oh, see, there we go. I guess I like how in stage 2 you're immediately fighting the cops. Look at that. The cops are immediately bullying the inmates there. Well, I guess it's a prison riot, so there's no bullying the inmates there, is there? Oh! Set that cop on fire. Great 127 damage. I wonder what the highest I can get on here is. Did they get, oh, what's his name? I want to say Suzuki, Yakuza, something like that. Yuzo. Did they get Yuzo to come back and do the music? It really has that, like, 90s kind of thumping soundtrack. Oh, let's see here. Oh, sorry, I missed your other comment here. Just got some good news. Hired as a special education teacher. Congrats, my man. All that hard work finally paid off. Still working. Still working on your master's, but another teaching job nonetheless. Hey, congrats, man. I've been in education now. This is my 10th year at the school district I'm at, and it took a while for me after I got out of college to actually get even an interview. And that's where I started. I started as a special ed paraprofessional was the first job I got. So it's a special group of kids, really. And in the case that I was in, I can't speak for all schools, but it was a great group of kids and an awesome staff to start with. I'm still there, so in some capacity. So congrats for you. I hope it works out for you. I hope you enjoy it. I think you will. Definitely treasure my times. I was a part-time teacher and part-time special ed paraprofessional for 3 years. And every now and again, I like to help out the special ed department when they need it. Being in the tech department, I get to work in with every single department, so that's one of the perks of my gig now. Alright, so moving on to this. I'm reading some of the reviews for this, and as we're going through. So this is Streets of Rage 4. It's an Xbox One title, that's why I left that in the picture. It's on Game Pass, but I played it on my Series X. And this was captured in 1080-60, but it's a little downscaled in the stream so you can actually see it. So if you're watching this in 1080-60, it should show up like it did, but the picture's a little smaller. A little crunched in the resolution. I don't know how that looks on how OBS does that so quickly. Alright, so here we talked about two things. I said the first issue that he mentioned was not really a huge issue for me on this game. When you press jump and attack at the same time, the character doesn't jump. Instead, he does a back attack. And he said it's as if the developers are punishing you for that convenience. I don't know why I'm not allowed to press both buttons at the same time and get a jumping attack. And I noticed I didn't run into that issue as much, other than when I was in a hurry to jump. I always found myself like stuck and I couldn't move. And so, pretty much, yes, pressing both buttons at once. I think I figured out if you just jump, then attack. That's just a natural button placement for me. Ooh, 22 hits. 25 hits. 26. Great, 169 damage. So the second thing he mentioned, this other reviewer who gave it an 8 out of 10 says, no matter how far exceedingly you reach in a combo, a single hit takes everything away like you've done nothing. That is every single beat 'em up. That is an issue. I don't want to say it's an issue. It's not an issue. It's a feature. How about that? So yes, it is very hard to pull off combos, like really high combos in these areas. And yes, if you make one single mistake, they'll take it away. They could have done something to, I guess, mitigate that. But hey, they're the game developers. They don't have to do anything that they don't want to. It's up to you guys to tell them by buying the game or not buying the game. He said, I once reached over 100 hits during an arcade run around stage 4 or 5, and I got hit, so I lost my combo. No points were rewarded. Rewarded to me? I think it's supposed to say awarded to me. Now I'm grammar checking the Metacritic reviews. All right, let's see here. Developers, blah, 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 blah. This is extremely disappointing and frustrating. 8 out of 10. I won't say that. I don't think that's a big issue. It's just something I'm used to. And I'm playing this game on, I think, the easiest difficulty, if not, maybe the second easiest difficulty. Just because I knew it was going to be... I know these games a lot are remember and repetition, get a little bit farther, start over from the beginning, and I didn't want to start over from the beginning. I just wanted to play through it casually and see what the game was like. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk much tonight. My sinuses keep running, I got some drainage action going, it is not fun. Another achievement. Combo Pro. See, so I definitely didn't have a problem. Achieve a super combo. Welcome to the stream, Gary. Thanks for popping in. Hopefully you're doing well tonight as well. I'm doing excellent. Thomas asks, am I experiencing the controller lag? Maybe trying to change the battery or resync. No, I'm experiencing user input lag. I noticed this a lot, actually. Over the weekend, my nephew and I, when we got back from camping, we played Rock Band for about 4 or 5 songs, just because it's been forever since we had played Rock Band, and it was Rock Band 4 we were playing. And I gotta tell you, I had like this rude awakening moment of, I am getting older. I was expecting to lose some of my skill at Rock Band, since it has probably been, I thought it'd been 5 years, but maybe it's been 4 years since I played it. And I have lost so much. It's not just the colored buttons, which one to press. I kept messing up the strumming. Like, it was hard for me to keep up with the pace of the song, if that makes sense. And I never had that issue with Guitar Hero. The only issue I usually had was, am I pressing the right button as I strum? I didn't usually overstrum, but this time I was like understrumming. It's very hard to keep up with it. So, I don't know, that was my rude awakening thing. So if you see me somewhat spacey in this game, or lacking in it, I guess that's probably why. Just getting older. Alright, so that was the top user review. Here's someone who gave it a 0. And it is in Spanish, so I cannot read that. Should turn on the Google Translate and see what happens. There's that background. I think if people don't like this game, it's because they just don't like dance and clubbing music. Here we go. Here's a 5 out of 10 review. This is still user reviews. Very poor, overpriced rubbish. I've been playing video games all my life, and the original is a classic. This is a poor money-spinning exercise. Interesting. I guess if I had paid for this, would I have been disappointed? I don't think so. It depends on how much. Like, this is a good $20, $30 game. In my opinion, a good $20 or $30 game. How much is the game now versus when it was launched? Let's see what the shopping comes up with. Just came out last year. $24.99 on the PlayStation Store. So yep, right in the middle of what I call it. The Streets of Rage 4 Anniversary Edition on the Switch physical edition is $40. That's about $10 too much in my opinion. I know $40 was kind of a standard at one point, but for a game like this, I don't know. $40 for one playthrough of a game is not really something I would appreciate. Because it does ask you to replay the game at the end, but I wouldn't. After you beat it, the last thing you want to do is play through the same exact game again. That's just true of all of these. Once you beat it. Now, if you had to keep redoing and redoing till you get farther and farther, that's fine. But if you just beat the game and you spent like a whole 5 or 6 hours going through it, yeah, the last thing you want to do is play through it again. So this person's just a cheapskate. He didn't like it because he's so used. He's probably got all the original Streets of Rage memorized. And, I mean, I'm just assuming. I have no idea what this guy's actual thoughts are. He's just not doing it. Hey, Hepwo, welcome to the stream. Streets of Rage 4, pretty good. So much to unlock. See, and that's another thing, too. So I guess on multiple playthroughs, you unlock more and more. So I can see that. I mean, if there's an incentive to do it, but again, it's kind of like a... Oh my gosh, I forgot that guy spits fire. That guy's spitting fire, son. Anyway. After I beat Super Mario Odyssey, I was not really motivated to keep... That was a nice... I like how you can still take advantage of the screen locking on these games to make it go just that much more. 30 hits. Great 120 damage. Yeah, I don't think I get too many that are higher than that. Except for towards the end. Great job and get your masters, you got your associates. Want to go back, so glad you fessed up there. Oh yes, absolutely. I eventually got my master's in education technology. Because that's where it seemed like my career was heading, so I figured I should get some sort of formal training on that. There's a super. Further cool, catch a weapon in the air. I'm getting all the achievements. Then again, picking up a health item was also an achievement, so let's go ahead and take that with a grain of salt on how much these achievements are worth. Love Rock Band 4. It's been a while. I can play real instruments, so yeah, it really throws you off. It really does, doesn't it? Very challenging, but in a good way. Well, really what it is, it's a reflex challenge, and I used to be so much better at those than I am now. You guys remember, I think it's like a piano game, only the black keys or something like that, or follow the whatever key, and it's got like a row of 4 things coming down at you, and all you're supposed to do is just press the correct key at the right time. And it is challenging. It takes a little bit to get used to, but I used to be so much better at that game. If I played it now, I'd probably only get like 5 seconds in. I used to have like a streak of like 10 minutes. It was insane. It's worth replaying, adds bosses and characters. Okay, I can see that then. If you don't get the full game on the first playthrough, I can see playing it again. But I'll tell you what, whoa, this lady is into, I noticed some obvious, let's call it bondage-themed items in here. I don't know what these game programmers are into. Look, they got candles all around the control room. They got the mood lighting set. There we go. I figured out how to do my special. I think that takes a little bit of my health every time I use that, though. So I try to use that sparingly until I get frustrated. The Battletoads sequel was not good. They do have that for Game Pass. Oh, we got another achievement. Wasted wine. Break a wine bottle. I like these, like, hidden, like, things that you wouldn't normally do become achievements. it's great because I always like finding those in game to begin with, but now you get like recognition for, hey, you actually found something we put in the game for you to find. Streets of Rage 4 is a solid sequel. Streets of Rage 2 will always be your favorite, but this is a worthy sequel. Yeah, Streets of Rage 2 has been my favorite for a long time, too. I don't know, I think the last one I played was probably the original. And I don't remember... Yeah, it could have been Streets of Rage 2 that I'm thinking of. They all pretty well play similarly, except for there's some quality of life updates in the later ones. Is it worth the price? So I said if I were to pay for this, right now I have it on Game Pass. Probably the best way to play it right now is on Game Pass. If you already have Game Pass, this is a great, spend an afternoon or two on this. Play it two-player. That's actually another thing. If I can get someone to play this with me two-player in person, I'll try to do that. Because it's just a nice co-op, chill out on the couch for an afternoon and play through it, that kind of a game. I put a price tag on it of about $20 to $30, and it looks like on PSN right now it's $25 total. So, and the physical edition, depending on where you get it, is either $30 or $40. I mean, I'm looking all over at the things for this. Let's go ahead and just do a quick search on. And of course, whatever I search for on my website doesn't mean your region's going to have the same price. Apparently the physical edition's only out on the Switch at the moment. There's something called the Anniversary Edition that's coming out. It's $30. Oh, it's $20 for the Xbox One. So right now it's that's the price according to Amazon. So the cheapest edition is on the Xbox One. The physical edition on PS4 is $30. That's marked down from a retail price of $35. And the Switch is $31.49. But they're coming out with an Anniversary Edition that will be released on September 28th. So, don't know. Couldn't tell you otherwise. Now we're on the docks. I will say this game is a lot darker themed than I realized it was in person. I like so far the tracks have all been good. Although it fits the Streets of Rage series, I'm not sure how well this track fits like the atmosphere of a dock. I never really thought party music on a dock. On a dock that looks like this. If you're on like Coney Island, I still wouldn't expect that. So 2 has the best music. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. You played on Game Pass, Hepwo? King's Bounty on the Genesis. I am not sure if I've played that game. To be quite honest, there's tons of games on there, and a lot of them I played for the. This is Wood Oak City. Kill an enemy by tossing them in a hole. See, a lot of these I feel like if you just figure out how to play the game, you're gonna get an achievement. I don't know if I like those too much. Real time. I'm not getting the Genesis version, I'm getting the PC version as I look this up. No, I have not played this game. Turn-based fantasy video game. Published by New Computing World. Game follows character. I have not played this game now. Forerunner to Heroes of Might and Magic game series? Interesting. I'd like to try that. Yeah, it says the Sega Genesis port was developed and released North America February 21st with a multitude of graphical changes. Gameplay was also modified to incorporate real-time overworld exploration. I mean, it's obvious. I think it looks interesting to me. I would give it a try. All I see is the box art, by the way. I don't see anything else on here. Anyhow, I always like how there's an arcade in these, but the arcades always look like they're abandoned. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Because I guess in these days it would be. 8-bit SNK boy, if I haven't said so, welcome to the stream. I've been staring at your comment for a little bit. says, hello peeps, and he's got the sideways laughing crying emoji face. First game of your genre. Excellent, you stumped me. It's not hard to do. There's literally a ton of games out. Or tons of games. Over 2,000 pounds of games per console. Except for the TurboGrafx. The NeoGeo probably has a ton of games, even though it doesn't have that many. We'll play some NeoGeo later on in the stream. Although with as tired as I am tonight, this could be the only thing I end up doing. Definitely had to give Streets of Rage some shout out here. As I was playing this is actually about a month ago I was playing this. I captured the footage and I thought one day I'm going to start my stream with this footage, and I didn't even think about it again until today. There are secret levels to the original games hidden in this game. Interesting. I did not know that. So if I go into the arcade, I'd probably find that. It's your first and only game in this genre. Just love playing it. Granted, it was like, oh, you were like 17 years old when it came, 30 years ago. Yeah, time will definitely change your perception on some of the games you thought were really good. For example, one of those with me is Attack of Killer Tomatoes on Game Boy. I loved that game as a kid. Nowadays I play it, I'm like, I still like it, but only because I'm nostalgic for it. Anybody else picking this game up is going to be like, why are you playing this broken, janky, horribly controlled style floaty jump game? It is literally, oh, it's a guilty pleasure. It's not that it's designed too horribly, but I spent many car trips I would beat through the game, play a round of Tetris, go back and beat the game again, play another round of Tetris, maybe Dr. Mario. I mean, that was every car trip back in the day was spent playing that. And I did do a live stream of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes one time. That's when I realized just how much that game is a nostalgic trip for me, and maybe not that good otherwise. Called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. IYBJS 530. Welcome to the stream. This is the first video of yours you've seen in here. So glad YouTube recommended your channel to you again. Keep it up. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the stream. Hopefully your night's going well, and yeah. I guess welcome back to the channel if you haven't been around for a while. I know YouTube's very hit and miss in recommending my content just because I'm not immediately going to get like millions of followers and views on everything I do. I mean, I could eventually. I have no idea. If it's anything I've learned after 4+ years of doing YouTube, it is I don't know what's going to hit and what's not. I've done some videos that I thought this is gonna be the first video to like 1,000 views, and then it does nothing. And then a video I spent like, I don't want to say not a lot of time on, but a video that I thought this is a huge passion project, but nobody's probably gonna watch it, gets 10,000 views quickly. I'm like, oh, okay, well. So you guys let me know how the videos go, pretty much. I have an idea of how it's going to go, but a lot of times I get proven wrong. I have the same perception with like taking like standardized tests. If I feel I did well on it, that's cause for concern for me. If I don't think I did well on it, I probably did better on it than I thought I did. Oh, I'll totally get it. No, definitely. I forgot what I was talking about when you said that, so. How is this compared to River City Girls? Let me look that up to make sure if I've played that. Played River City Ransom, and that's the first thing I thought of. Is that a sequel? I have not played River City Girls. According to this, it was... Oh, it's on all the consoles, though. Maybe I have played it. Give me a second. A PlayStation 5 version and a sequel to River City Girls 2 are in development. I will probably wait till the PS5 version now, but no, I have not played this. So sorry I couldn't compare the two. That's a good question, though. I'm glad you guys are bringing these up. Because this is a classic style. The beat-em-up genre games, I really feel like, went by the wayside and just disappeared. Every now and again, I mean, for how popular it was in the early 90s, it really disappeared starting before the end of the 90s. Like, I want to say mid-90s, this genre was already, like, played out. Games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Streets of Rage, they all kind of went by the wayside. Why Sega never thought, hey, we need to develop another Streets of Rage? No idea why that didn't happen. Streets of Rage 2, TMNT, Turtles in Time, probably your favorite beat 'em ups of all time. This is good, but it's hard to reach those levels. Yes, I agree. I'm of the same perception here. I've actually... Oh, I meet Adam. Oh, that's... You get an achievement at the end of each level, so I'm like, okay. I mean, honestly, all you can do is just meet expectations. It's very rare you'll be able to exceed them, but this game met my expectations. Like, this game plays... Again, the controls sometimes may be clunky. I read a couple Metacritic user reviews that kind of explain some of the frustration. It all comes down to your playstyle, what control issues you're going to run into. I didn't really notice the controller lag too much, though, as somebody else mentioned earlier. Let's see McDowell, welcome to the stream. Is that Aliens vs. Predator? Well, of course, that's a great game. Great game series. I think I've only played, well, I won't say only, but the time I probably played that the most was the Computer Gaming World PC demo disc that I had, because I didn't really own a lot of games back in the day. So demo discs are sometimes more nostalgic to me than the actual games, because I remember playing that more often. The same people who did this game are doing a remake of TMNT. That is awesome, Gary. I had been talking about that for years, and it's one of those things that was like a wish list item of mine that I'd never thought would happen due to licensing issues. Like, seriously, I thought for sure, because Konami had the rights to it for a while, but then Nickelodeon owns the rights to TMNT, so... And they started doing, like, contracting out their games to whoever else they wanted with their own art style and everything. So if that is true, I'm very much looking forward to that. There was a decent game released on the Wii that was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. I say it's a decent game. I don't think it's comparable to... Yep, there I am. I'm soaking up all the poison there. And then they throw me into the steam jets. Of course, that's fair. Oh yeah, and that's a good point to make, Thomas, because Killer Tomatoes, or Attack of the Killer Tomatoes on the NES, completely different game than the Game Boy version. Same developer, THQ, or same publisher, I should say. THQ published both games, but the NES version is not anything like the Game Boy version. And I think that came down to the fact that maybe the Game Boy screen size had a lot to do with that. One of your guilty secrets, it wasn't bad, but you felt like something was missing. Yeah, and that's a game too where my only disappointment with Killer Tomatoes on the NES is that it's not like the Game Boy game, but that's not a bad thing that it's not. Oh, here comes flame-throwing Chuck here. I actually don't know what his name is. Big Ben. Big Ben, for some reason, shoots flames. Oh yeah, and if you've noticed, the names of all the characters are all either super generic or just very weird. Very strange. Like, kind of like the names in the original Streets of Rage were all kind of unintentionally funny. Like, what is this guy? Oh, he just keeps kicking the bathroom stall. This is Kevin. The guy with his hands in his pockets, and this one's Kevin. This is BT. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. See, I don't know why the bathroom looks brighter than most of the other game, but whatever. ADP is fantastic. Love the 2 dungeons and the beat-em-ups Capcom put out too. I love the 2 Dungeons and Dragons. I skipped that. Beat-em-ups Capcom put out too. I didn't... Let me look at that. I played tons of beat-em-ups back in the day, but I could not put my finger on each one of those 2. Dungeons and Dragons beat-em-up. Am I reading that right? Yep. Says in 2013, they published one on Steam. Chronicles of Mystara. Yeah, here we go. One that Capcom put out in '96. Oh, it was only put out in arcades. That's why I probably played it, but unless it made it. Here's the other one they did, but this one should be out on Steam. But the first one says it was only released on arcades. And it does not mention anything about it being ported since. Combining the side-scrolling... That sounds awesome. Combining the side-scrolling gameplay of a beat-em-up with aspects found in a role-playing game. That actually would kind of remind me of Adventure of Link, wouldn't it? Zelda 2. Alright, the other one... Oh. The Wii U on this one, I was going to say, it's only on the eShop. I've bought almost all of the Wii U games, and when they told me it was on Wii U, I'm like, oh, I probably have this game then. Then I saw, oh no wait, only on the eShop. Microsoft Windows via Steam, PlayStation 3. It was only released digitally. There's no physical copy of this. Well, we need to get on that. Hey, it was released on my birthday, August 22nd. Not the same year, though, 2013. The Japanese version of the game, exclusive to the PlayStation 3 and having a retail release, was developed internally by Capcom by the original team and features more accurate emulation than the Worldwide Plus release. So this other version has been ported to consoles and to Steam after the fact, but it was originally only in arcades. Interesting. I'll have to... You guys are giving me some games to play here. Unfortunately, it's going to wait a while because I'm going to have to... I have to keep going on the NeoGeo. And I did play a good beat 'em up on the NeoGeo. You say AVP, Aliens vs. Predators? Yeah, kind of. Great game, but hard, totally. Alien vs. Predator also came out, I think, for the Atari Jaguar, didn't it? I think I have that game for the Jaguar. If not, it's something very similar. Check out a preview of the remake of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on YouTube. Yeah, I will definitely do that. You piqued my interest with that, so I'm definitely going to have to look up that information. Again, it's one of those wish list games. I'm like, I wish this would happen. Probably never will. Why is that kangaroo wearing boxing gloves behind the bar? I didn't want to go and disturb him because I didn't want to try to fight a kangaroo with boxing gloves behind the bar. Nice catch. Most people haven't played both versions. Yep. Have them both on Sega Saturn. Interesting. Alien vs. Predator Capcom is your favorite beat 'em up. Okay. Huh. So that's a completely different one than I was thinking. Well, here's the Atari Jaguar game. The Atari Jaguar game is a first-person shooter. It's been a while since I played it. It became a pack-in game when the console was launched in a region somewhere. Now I'm just looking up Alien vs. Predator, and there's a ton of stuff with this. Thomas is asking, what's your most favorite beat-em-up game, arcade games included? Well, my standard answer for that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project. I can't remember what the subtitle is behind it, because they put mutants in Manhattan as well. It's one of those two. It's the Manhattan Project. For the NES, that's my standard. I love that game. I played the heck out of that game on NES. So, nostalgically, that is my favorite. It is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game for the NES, but with just a little extra polish. That's my opinion. It's definitely not as popular. It's harder to find because it was released much later into the NES's life cycle. But definitely a favorite. Turtles in Time obviously is a good one. I'm going to say almost anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Streets of Rage was my favorite on the Genesis. Destroy all the motorcycles. Because I was being mean to the motorcycles, I get an achievement. I'm trying to think if there's any modern beat-em-ups that I really liked that were like on the PlayStation 1 or the PS2. I was trying to think like anything after the 90s. Let me see if I can find that other one. There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fighting game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash Up, I think it was what it is. That's not necessarily a beat 'em up, but it wasn't terrible. Like, I was not expecting it to be any near the level of anything good. But that also says it came out for the PlayStation 2. Yeah, the Wii and the PlayStation 2 in 2009. What else came out? Then there's Turtles in Time Reshelled. That's not the one. That's not the one. Maybe it is Mutants in Manhattan that I played last that I thought was okay. Is this a beat-em-up? It's an action hack-and-slash game, not a beat-em-up. I thought that game was kind of solid, too. Again, kind of like a good 7 or 8 out of 10 title. These people are not as kind. The other reviews are giving it at maximum 6 out of 10, so I would call that solid, apparently. The kangaroo behind the bar is a playable character you unlock in Streets of Rage 3. I was wondering about that. Do you have to beat him first before you can play as him? For some reason, I got like huge flashbacks of I don't want to go near that kangaroo. Have I played B-Rat Boy in the arcades or on MAME? I have not. Great game as well. Like I said, it's not hard to stump me because there are tons of great games I have not played. The ones that I played the most on now are the NES, Sega Master System, Atari 7800. All the game consoles I've covered so far, those are the ones that I have the most experience with games. The fact that you came up with a Sega Genesis game that I hadn't played or even heard of does not shock me because there are a ton of games for the Sega Genesis that I really feel like I can go back to that system and do that review over again and not play a single game that is the same. I mean, there's just a ton. But most recently, the TurboGrafx, which took all of last year to do. The NeoGeo, which looks like it may take a while out of this year to do as well. Starting to get to know these games pretty well. Sadly, the AD&D only came out in Japan, though. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did see that on there, so... It's just crazy the amount of games that did leave Japan that could have found an audience over here, and I don't know why digital-only releases aren't more common with some of those games. I mean, honestly, if it's not going to make that much money, don't spend a lot of time localizing it. Just put in enough effort to make the menus in English, put subtitles with it, and just see what kind of audience is there. If you sell a bunch, then you can do a better job porting it over the next time, or patch the game and make it better. I just don't understand why there's still a big hesitation with that. I mean, I know they think, I guess I wouldn't, if a game's going to sell 1 million copies in Japan, but it's only going to sell 1,000 in the US, fine, you know, that's kind of a thing, but I think some of these games would be better than they think. Sony obscure titles for sure. Great beat-em-up games in the arcade. Oh yes, absolutely. There aren't a ton on the NeoGeo, but that's one of the genres I'm looking forward to doing. Plus, I didn't like them a lot as a kid, but space scrolling shooters, or just scrolling shooters in general, have become kind of a treat for me. I didn't used to like them as much back in the day, but after having played a whole bunch on the TurboGrafx and the Sega Genesis, shocked how many there are on the Genesis. I think that's been something that's been in the renaissance that I'm having with these older game consoles. Those are some of the games I'm liking a lot. TMNT 3 is one of the most underrated beat-em-ups ever. Thank you, Hepwo. I wholeheartedly agree with you. That's one of the reasons why I say that's my go-to answer. TMNT 3, the Manhattan Project, or sometimes I say Mutants in Manhattan because my brain likes to swap terms. Because a lot of people skipped it. A lot of people don't even know it existed. People who are around back then who had played the arcade game, had even played the original, and never thought, oh, I should play the third one. It's the only one, too, that I know of that's actually a complete and utterly brand new experience that was not in the arcades. What is the... Oh, I can't think of it. The Genesis TMNT game called. Not the Fighters. Does that also have the Manhattan in it as well? Something about Heist. Hyperstone Heist. Thank you. That just popped into my head. The Hyperstone Heist, Turtles in Time, and the arcade game for the NES, those are all based on pretty much the same arcade cabinet. Turtles in Time actually is based on the Turtles in Time arcade cabinet, but it's very similar to the first one as well. Other than, I guess the most original one you can get is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the video game, the very first one. That's its own thing. But if you want a good game that plays like the arcade, that's 100% original, that's TMNT 3. Gary North asks, what was your very first console? I've been told the first console I ever played was the Atari 2600. I would have played it at the very tail end of its life. My parents traded it in for an NES, and that is the first console I remember playing. My parents said that I used to love playing Pac-Man on the Atari. I've played it more recently, and even my mom played it with me when we went to that video game museum down in Frisco, Texas. And she agrees that that game is not very good. In retrospect, she said, I remember this game being a lot better than it is. But yeah, the NES is really what I consider to be my first console. And that's the same. A lot of people said that too. I mean, even people who had the Atari feel like the Nintendo Entertainment System was the first one to have a whole bunch of games built for the home. Actually provided a serious gaming experience. And the people who didn't most likely call the Commodore 64 their first gaming system or their first gaming PC. I'm kind of surprised a lot more people mentioned that. Ooh, who's this guy? Gord. Gord is making easy handiwork out of me. Early 4-player beat-em-up you played in the 80s and loved was Crime Fighters by Konami. Never got an official home port as far as you know. Streets of Rage 2 and Turtles in Time are the best ones you've ever played. Yep. I mean, those are definitely pretty good. And yes, the Super Nintendo and the Genesis version do play better than the NES counterparts. But like I said, it's just because I played number 3 so many times as a kid. And it takes so long to get through. I mean, even if you do play, it takes like an hour to beat the game. And by the time you're done, your hands are so sore, your wrists have carpal tunnel. I mean, it's one of those games that really earns its name in there. Not that every other game is easier. I'm just saying it just takes longer to beat. Ooh, that was a super damage there. Well, that rewarded me points. I got hit in the middle of that combo, and it rewarded me my points. So I don't know if that was something that was fixed with a patch, or if that guy just didn't know what he was talking about. I'm talking about the 8 out of 10 review that I was talking about on Reddit earlier, or Reddit, Metacritic earlier. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Seriously learned of Crusader of the Holy Century about a year ago. I learned about that during one of my review videos. I don't remember playing it much. I played so many games during that time frame. I probably played it only for a little bit just to get some footage on that. Hyperstone Heist, yep, thanks, Uplow. Crusader of the Senti and Salil is fantastic. Story's really good too. Yeah, I remember. Let's see what I can remember out of that game. Let's see if I can find my gameplay footage of it. It could have been if it was before my server crash. It was not. Yes. I was surprised too about how many good RPGs there are on the Genesis. As soon as I saw the screenshot, I'm like, "Yep, I have played that game." It's kind of like Zelda, isn't it? Like I looked at that and I thought, looks like Zelda, overhead perspective, hearts in the corner. Is that hearts or apples? I think that's apples. But it's very close to that. And I'm like, oh, if this plays like Zelda, we're going to be in for a treat. So I think that's one of those games I actually played for a while. More than I should have because I was up against the deadline, but there we go. Received positive reviews from critics. Somebody going so far as to say it's equally as good as the Zelda series. They identified the story and Zelda-like mechanics as the game's strongest points. that was at a time too where people were either playing Zelda RPGs or they were playing games like Final Fantasy where it's turn-based and you can see everyone playing. That was pretty well what it was. That was the era of RPGs back in the time when that game came out. Too bad it came out way too late for the Genesis, though. It came out... I remember, I don't know if I made this point in the review, but I remember making a note that this game came out in March of '95. Right in the middle of the 32X's life cycle, and just like 2 months before the Saturn came out. So nobody would have bought this game, because the Saturn had tons and tons of great RPGs. First console was the Magnavox Odyssey 2, but the NES made you a gaming fan for life. Yeah, I feel like every other console beforehand was just practice. That's one of the reasons somebody actually asked me about how come I didn't include the Atari 2600 in the 8-bit war, but I kept including it in every console contest I had before that. I did the Atari 2600 versus Intellivision, and the Atari 5200 versus the ColecoVision, but I also included the 2600 on it, because I felt like that's what it was really competing against, was the 2600. And really, there's no contest. The 2600 was out of there by the time, even the ColecoVision, which I said won against those other two. Nothing could have compared to the Nintendo and the Sega Master System, what they were doing. The Atari 7800 was probably the closest they could have competed. 1 a.m. time to crash. Well, hey, but SNK boy, if you're still on, have a great night. Thanks for stopping in. I know it's late for you / early, so I appreciate you hopping on, man. Someone remade the Pac-Man game on the 2600. It's actually really good. You know what, Gary? I actually did try that, and I don't remember when I did or what it was for. But basically, I found it. It's like it is a ROM hack of Ms. Pac-Man, I think. So they basically used the Ms. Pac-Man engine and reskinned it and made it play better. The Ms. Pac-Man port is great on the 2600. Ms. Pac-Man on its own is much better, plays much better than the Atari does. But I think they reskinned it and made it look a lot more like Pac-Man even than those other two games did. Pac-Man remake, where do you sign up? I think it's available open source. Because the person who made it, I think it was like 99 is when it says it was made. I don't know if it's copyrighted then. But it was an open source one where if you get like an emulator, I think you can download it with the emulator. It's one of those things where the Atari is so challenging to program for, but the results aren't that impressive, like visually. So it's impressive based on the limitations they're working in. I mean, I think every Atari 2600 game is. Like, you pretty much had to invent and engineer a way to make the game console display what you wanted it to. So it really helps that. Final Fight. I was wondering when someone was going to mention that. Final Fight's an amazing game series. There was a retro game store in my area that had one of those cabinets. Had the Final Fight arcade 1-up cabinet. Every time I walked in there, I was so tempted to try to get it. But it was over $300. And to date, by the way, I have never paid over $300 for any of my arcade 1-up cabinets. I got the Space Invaders cabinet for $75 on clearance from Costco. So, and I heard that's like a Midwest thing that I have to tell people how much I paid for it, but it doesn't really matter. And then I used reward certificates to get the Pac-Man cabinet and the Atari cabinet that I have from Arcade 1-Up. And I can't remember how much I paid for the exactly what circumstances led me to get into the Golden Tee one, but I always wanted the Golden Tee one because that is a game that you have to have the arcade controller to play. You can't play it with a regular controller. You have to have a trackball controller to play Golden Tee. And I do have the home version that you can hook up from Jack Specific. So, 1 a.m. GB time still going strong for the quality content. I appreciate that. Oh, let's see what else we got here. But yes, Final Fight 1 and 2 on the Super Nintendo is awesome. The last one, the most recent one I've played, oh, look at this. This is a classic level. Classic level design. On top of a moving train. This is something I think they wanted to do for years. They probably could have done on these older systems. Ah, my timing's not going out right. Oh, there it was. There was a break. I didn't get the points because I got hit by the obstacle. And of course, by the time I get the pattern down, am I going to get it? Oh, it said look out, but it never came. Anyway, because all this is using is like a simple parallax scrolling effect. They could have done that on any other system. It's just swapping out the assets and getting enough assets in the background to make it unique. That would have been tough. You think the mode 7 in Turtles of Time was different from the arcade game? Also, Hyper Times was one that had less levels and longer. Yeah, I mean, basically, it was the only one not to be based on any of the other games. Life's a Struggle achievement. Free yourself from a grab. That's the first grab I freed myself from. Here we're coming up with Francis. That's his name. I thought his name was Ajax. Anyway. Just played Pac-Man in the Atari 2600 today. It was a lot of fun. Millennials need to play. Ever played Ninja Baseball Batman? Ninja Baseball Batman. Why does that sound like a game I would never have played? I haven't, but I'm wondering why have I not played that game based on that description? What did that come out for? Was that an arcade game? NES was so much better than any console that came before it. Wasn't until the Sega Genesis and TurboGrafx in '89 before the NES would face any challenge. Absolutely. The PC Engine kind of gave the the Famicom, a run for its money, but the NES, the Famicom still dominated. I think the big reason was because anyone who wanted console gaming was already going for, see, look at that. She's moving at the same exact speed of me, away from me. That's one of the things I don't like about these games. There should be a turbo button where I can run up to them when they do that. And if there is, I'm probably just missing it. But anyway, so I think the only thing the PC Engine really grabbed was anyone who was using a computer to game or didn't want a computer got the PC Engine instead. Oh, did I die on that one? So I don't think they were really stealing customers away from the Famicom, and they were just stealing new customers from coming to the Famicom. But the Famicom came out in '83, and that was their primary in Japan, and that was their primary console till 1990. So that's a long lifespan, including all these other. Well, was it 1990 or '91 when the Super Famicom came out? And that's one of those things where I say Nintendo was kind of caught off guard, but they were not playing when Sega Genesis came out and the TurboGrafx/PC Engine. The reason why the Super Nintendo came out so late out of those consoles is because they had no plans to replace the Nintendo. Their goal was to expand the Nintendo's capabilities with upgrade chips. Because they literally thought to themselves, the graphics don't need to be better, it's all about the gameplay. That's why the Game Boy was their next system. I could make a reference to that, and I don't think I'm going to review the Game Boy before the Super Nintendo, but that was their next console, was the Game Boy. They were not planning on doing anything else. They only came out with the Super Nintendo after the Genesis and the Mega Drive started making waves and started pointing out like, hey, this Nintendo system's really dated. And they were afraid they were going to steal off all of their existing customers because they were going to upgrade. Yeah, you were completely surprised how the Pac-Man, how awesome the version of Ms. Pac-Man was on the 2600? Absolutely. They did something similar, Super Double Dragon. I think it was a moving truck, yeah. So that's why I said I think that was something that was always a goal in those games, so that's probably why they added it in here. Or made a tribute to that. There's a ton of tributes to the previous games in this series and other beat-em-ups that are in this game. I haven't seen maybe a quarter of them. Final Fight stole so many quarters back in the day. Had to buy a SNES back in the day. Sadly, discovered it was only one player on the console. Oh, that's right. A lot of beat-em-ups were. Double Dragon was the first one for me. For the NES, being single player, oh, that was a heartbreak. Mainly because that's when I knew if it was one player, no chance I was ever going to get a turn. I have 3 older brothers. I was the youngest out of a family of 4 boys. And we all fought over the same video game system. And so there were 2 players. And nobody wanted to play with me. I mean, let's be honest. If you were 13, would you want to play with your 5-year-old brother? When you had a chance of playing with your 14-year-old brother or your 10-year-old brother? I don't know. That's not exactly the age differences, but I was much younger than everybody else, so they would have to teach me how to play. They would have to have patience, and I don't know how many 15-year-olds have the patience for a 5-year-old. It's not very many. I mean, some people, if that was the only choice they could, and it does take a certain disposition, but I'm going to say that's back in the day when, I guess, bullying your little brother was more acceptable. I was always picked on, and of course they didn't want to play with me because I didn't really know or get what was going on. So yes, that's why single-player games were not something I enjoyed playing back in the day. Except for when they were done or they went to bed, I would get up and start playing the Nintendo. SNES Final Fight was okay, but it was missing a level of character. Sega CD did have a pretty good version of it, though. If you can find it, it's expensive. But I think it's worth a pickup. Is it 2 players? Well, it should be. Ridiculous how much better PC Engine graphics were than the Famicom. Yep. People don't realize the PC Engine ended up the 3rd gen only after 4 years when it came out in 87. Yep. No, I agree. Well, and the funny thing is, it was built to play like an NES. They just added a 16-bit graphics chip so they can get more colors on the screen and just make the games pop that much more. Really, I don't know what they're... I think they were looking at... I think the 8-bit CPU was really just kept in there to help with the porting process. Because NEC was doing great in the home PC market, and all their home PCs were 8-bit. So they figured if they kept the same processor, porting games over should be a cinch, and they can have better graphics, so they just use the 16-bit chip. So, yep. Ninja Baseball Batman was an arcade game back in the day, mid-90s, think. Get the Super Console X Pro to play. If you're okay with shoddy emulation. Love to find the OG PCB. I'd love to find the OG cabinet somewhere. Still set up that somebody has been missing for years. What's it called? Ninja Baseball Batman. Okay. Batman. As in baseball bat. That makes more sense. I was thinking like they were licensing Batman for this ninja game that I didn't know what to expect. Released in October of 1993. Despite being one of the top arcade hits in Japan while receiving good reviews during its release, but compared to sales of other kits sold at the time, it sold poorly in the Far East and especially in North America. Of the 1,042 units sold, only 50 were sold in North America. Well, no wonder why I've never played it. Made it exceptionally quite rare, especially in the US. The popularity of the arcade name caused Ninja Baseball Batman to gain more popularity years after it had already been released. Has it been ported to, why hasn't this been ported to, like, the Switch? Something just dropped in front of me. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I just saw a spider or something of some sort, or a bug of some sort, drop from the ceiling. That's what I get for streaming in my basement. Let's see if I can see that on the instant replay. It was really quick, so I don't know if it's going to be caught by my camera. Yep, I can already see in the replay. Or was that an optical illusion? I'm seeing the instant replay here. Nope, it was way too fast, just didn't get caught. Ah, that's interesting. Anyway. And now my video is not live with this, so I'm going to have to refresh the page, and hopefully it doesn't crash the stream. There we go. Oh, there it is. Something just flew on the other side of me. I'm looking at the instant replay. Yep, that's crazy. You can't see that on the camera. Unless allergy medicine causes me to hallucinate, I don't know what that bug was. That's crazy it doesn't show up on camera. Sorry, I'm distracted now. I'm going to open up the door here and see if I can shoo it out of the studio. Give me just a second. And again, I have no idea what that was, but something is flying around in here, and it's a little unnerving because I don't know what it is, and it's pretty big. I'm gonna go back and see. Did I do the meta stream? Yep, it's actually out of sight of the camera. It flew above the camera the entire time. And it's not on the ceiling. And this is why my allergies are so bad down here. I got bugs crawling in through whatever, cracks in the wall and whatever. Sorry guys, if that happens again, I may have to end the stream because that was I don't know if it's quite a phobia or whatnot, but heh. Yep. Sorry, I'll catch up on the chat here in a second. I'm not talking too much because that is crazy. And here I am, I'm like staring, trying to figure out where that's at. It's probably an uncomfortable part of the stream. It's crazy that doesn't show up on camera. But at least I know now that I'm not hallucinating. It's probably emitting some sort of toxin in the air that makes my sinuses, all your sinuses drain. Makes the back of your neck itch. There we go. Neck itch. I feel like I should be wearing one of those beekeeper suit things. I'm just checking everything that's on the ground in front of me. This is kind of a corner of the basement that I don't dust too often, so there can be some like cobwebs that show up every now and again I'll knock down. Okay, now I'm going to pause this. Let's see if this thing's making any noise. Found him. He is on the ceiling next to one of the lights. I think. Now he's on my projector. I don't know. It might be a wasp. If it's a wasp, now we got something that actually scare me a little bit. If it's just a fly or whatever, I'd be okay with that. I'm wondering how is a wasp getting in? That's the thing. Everything is sealed down here. There's no windows. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. Christopher Lawrence, welcome to the stream. You came at a very interesting time. You may be seeing the very end of the stream because if there's a wasp down here, I'm going to go into full executioner mode and we're going to have to end the stream while I do it. So give me just a second. He landed on my projector and he's going over to one of these lights. Okay. I can tell you why he's avoiding this light because I can now see there's a cobweb coming right off of it. So that's why he's avoiding this light. But at least now I know I am not hallucinating. Oh my gosh. All right, let's catch up on the chat here a little bit. If that thing comes near me again, you're going to see me go, "Aah!" It's not even Halloween yet. We shouldn't be doing the scares. Let's see here. Leslie says that turn off the lights in the house, close the windows and blinds, open the front door, and the bugs usually fly right out. Only works during sunlight. Yeah, I can see that. It's probably Streets of Rage 1. Wondering what you're doing. That was surreal. Just popped by to watch your stream. We're all hallucinating, some more than others. Let's play some games. A wasp, so I don't get too close. You know what the funny thing is? Well, and that could... Well, the reason it makes me think it's a wasp is because I do a lot of work next to hopefully he stays on the projector. If I turn it on, maybe he'll be attracted to it or attracted to the screen. I can just smack him. I did notice that there's some dead wasps in the other room, and I wonder if they're getting in from my back door when I come in and out there. Because I did have a wasp's nest outside my garage I had to get rid of. Had to smoke those suckers out of there. It didn't look like a wasp, but it had like a longer body, kind of like a wasp. So that's why I was wondering what in the world's going on here. This camera is not meant to pick up high fidelity detail. If all of a sudden you guys see, all of a sudden there's like something just like inching and crawling across the screen, and I don't notice it, it's going to be like, probably scare the crap out of you guys if I made that all big. Let's play some games. I will do that. This this video footage has about 8 minutes left, and I'm going to start playing some real games on the stream. This video clip is a lot longer than I thought. To tell you the truth, I did not expect this. This video clip is over an hour. It's about an hour and a half long. Usually I split up my clips smaller than that, so. We brought the stream to a standstill because of a wasp. I have to get the fly paper down here or whatever. Get the rubber band and shoot him. No, that'll just make him angry. I should get a fly swatter, although fly swatters apparently don't do too good of a job of smacking the bigger bugs either. It just makes them angry. What is the lifespan of a wasp? Jeff Goldblum. Are you guys referring to the movie where he slowly turns into an insect? I think you are. Let me look at... Oh, okay. The good news is it did not look like a wasp, according to this picture. But usually social wasp workers live for 12 to 22 days, and the average lifespans of a queen is about 1 year. So I don't think it's the queen, but probably one of the worker ones since it's so far away from the nest. Sometimes I get those little roly-poly bugs down here, and I'm okay with that because it's a basement. I mean, it just kind of attracts those kind of animals down here. I am kind of curious how that thing got in the it must have come in from, like I said, the back door. It's got to be from there. This hallway right here leads straight up and out. So maybe I should leave the door closed so it stays in here. So that way I'm not waking up in the middle of the night seeing a wasp crawling around me. I did have that happen once. I was when I still lived at home because I was a kid. This is a great level too with the glass elevator. You gotta see how many times you go through. I'm like all itchy all over the place now too. Like you can see me start going, I'm like, Nah, it's Jeff. You guys just trying to call me now. You drew first blood. I did draw first blood. You were correct. Actually, they drew first blood because when I was 7 or 8, my brother and I shared a room for a little while, and I had to sleep on the floor. He got to sleep on the bed until my room was ready. I guess they were doing some remodeling in my house. And I kid you not, I woke up and one of my boobs had swollen up bigger than the other. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. As a kid, you know, just whatever. And I was like rubbing, I felt like this huge welt. And I was like, what in the world is that? And so I turned on the light. My brother wakes up. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I don't know, but I think I got stung by a wasp. And he goes, how do you know it was a wasp? And I'm not joking you. This is exactly how it happened. I looked up next to his head on the wall next to his bed. There was a wasp crawling up the wall. And I said, oh, because it's right by your head. And he went from, I can't wake up for this, I'm about ready to fall back asleep, to he shot up out of that bed, ran out of that room and into the hallway. He's like, don't do that. I said, no, I'm not kidding. The wasp was right next to your head. And we walked back in. And it did. It stung me. I didn't have to go to the doctor. Well, maybe I did have to, but they didn't take me to the doctor. Wasp stings hurt. And they do not give a care about stinging you either. Those are the ones where they don't lose their stinger after they sting you. So, yeah, I don't play around with those things. He's making a nest inside of the projector. I hope he does, because when I turn that on, that light bulb will fry them all out. Good thing I saw him outside of, like, right here. I saw him fall, and the camera didn't pick it up. And I saw him fall. He must have been crawling around the desk where I couldn't see him. And then all of a sudden, he came up and flew almost right at my face, and you still couldn't see it on camera. A wasp is more dangerous than a bee. They're like I said, they're not to be trifled with. I got rid of their nest because they found a corner of my garage that they really liked, and I had to get rid of that nest. But yeah, another thing too that I found out with bees and wasps is that they are attracted to like hairspray and hair product. And today, because whenever my hair gets really long, technically my hair is supposed to be like curly and wavy, but I have to use hair product to keep it from getting that way when it gets too long. Otherwise, I like to keep my hair short. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've gotten a haircut, so my hair is longer than usual, so I had to put that stuff in, and I'm sure that's what that wasp was like attracted to, was hair product or whatever. At least maybe that's an old wives' tale or an urban legend, if you will, but I've heard, that's something I've always heard. Let me see. Are wasps... Ha! I like these questions here. People also ask, how long can a wasp live in a house? Do wasps die in winter? How long is the lifespan of a wasp? What kills wasps instantly? Let's try that one. Mix 1 teaspoon of dish soap with 2 cups of water. Spray the solution on the wasp and wait 10 to 15 minutes till it dies. Yeah, it'll sting the crap out of you first. What kind of answer is that? Where's the source? Google does not say anything about a source there. Oh, here it is. MedicineNet.com. I can tell you, MedicineNet.com, you are wrong. That wasp will not only die, it'll take everyone in your household out with it. The variety of topics we get to talk about in these streams is never ending to me. I had no idea I would be Googling. Well, I guess technically I didn't Google it. It was suggested to me as an answer. We should get back to the video games. You know what game I don't want to play right now? Is Donkey Kong Country with the zingers. That's what they're called. Relating it back to video games, let's get back on topic. Did I try out Dead Island or Dying Light? I have. I do have a couple of the Dead Island games for the on Xbox. It's been a while since I played them. They're okay. How does this game compare to Golden Axe series on the Genesis? I think... Ooh. How does this specific game? If I had to pick a series, I would pick Streets of Rage over, like, any of those games, over the Golden Axe games themselves. Golden Axe 2 is pretty good. I do like that one better. Golden Axe 3 is kind of like a... Oh, it kind of came out after. There we go. Oh, almost. 25 seconds till the stream stops. I'm going to start loading up the next game here. I think, I mean, it's comparable. I mean, really, if you like that, you're going to like this game. There we go. And there we go. So, that is Streets of Rage 4 so far. That's actually almost half the game. We only got about another half of the game to go. I could keep playing it, but we're going to switch over to some actual retro game here just as soon as this game gets loaded up. We're going to play some more NeoGeo. What pros and cons in comparison? Oh, here we go. We're not playing Prehistoric Island. And this looks like an NVS one. Sonic Wings 2. Technically, this is Aero Fighters. And again, just because I was really feeling the mood for playing an actual shooter. I could play a... what am I trying to think of? I know one day I'm going to be doing this. Like I said, I'm really itchy now because I saw that. I really want to try these because these are like arcade-style shooters that I only would have played in the arcades back in the day. So we're going to play this here in a second. I'm actually going to look up Aero Fighters, NeoGeo. Aero Fighters 2, actually. This is a 102 meg game. Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder is the best. Yeah, that one, wasn't that the one that was only released on Sega Channel? The Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder? I think there was something about that. I will say this is probably going to be better than the last shooter I played on here, which was either Alpha Mission 2 or Ghost Pilots. Because this game feels like it was out a little bit after. But this is the MVS convert, so it can play on the AES. The only difference is that I can have unlimited credits, because all I got to do is keep pressing the quarters button. So we should get pretty far in this one. A lot better in the 4th gen ports. Game Boy and Game Boy Advance coming to the Switch. Oh, that's a good topic, Damon Forbes, by the way. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I welcomed you. You were too busy talking about Jeff Goldblum, and I think that threw me off. Yeah. So, I would love to see Game Boy Advance games come to the Switch. Whoops. I'm going to flash drive. But, I don't know if it's going to happen. They came to the Wii U, so that's the only thing that's there. But I think it'll be Game Boy and Game Boy Color first, and then maybe the Game Boy Advance later on. I think that might come in the form of you can buy a copy of those. All right, here we go. So we're going to move back and forth. This is the Japanese version, which is the one I have. C and D are not used. All right. I can play as a dolphin. Let's do the robot. Keaton, the robot. Okay, so no auto firing here. I have to keep clicking the button. I do like that my what was I trying to say? I guess that my firing does not make the power-ups climb the screen. That happened to one of the other shooters that I had just played. I will say a lot of these enemies that are stationary on the ground, That's interesting. A lot of the enemies that are stationary on the ground are hard to pick out from the background. But I think that's true with a lot of games that don't do a lot of... Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I have no idea what's going on here. Oh. I feel like this is going to take forever now. Not too shabby. Explosions in this game are done pretty well. Oh. Okay. Oh. This is one of those things where if you lose your power-ups, it's not going to be too kind. There's the pause button. Doesn't pause the music, but I can catch up with chat. Just same way on your arcade cab. It's also on the Genesis Mini. Revenge of Death Adder was the arcade version for your understanding. Oh, okay. Golden Axe 2 is the home port. Really think a major jailbreak will occur over the next year, put everything out on everything. Yeah, that could be. I mean, there's already a lot of people who are doing a lot of emulation on the Switch because they've cracked theirs. It's on the Sega Astro Mini Arcade. Okay. We get cloud gaming. Sega will make a comeback. Yeah. Does anyone play Jailbreak in the arcade? It feels like an awesome game, tough as nails. Totally agree. On Xbox and the Dreamcast, yeah. Kind of how it goes. So what gets me is that select is actually the pause button, not start, like in most arcade cabinets, or most home consoles. Yep, I have the feeling that's... Those helicopters that just spray bullets that you have no way of shooting down, that's tough. Oh, of course. I didn't know those things could actually shoot out. I thought those were like power-up planes. So these things have some projectiles that you can shoot down and some that you cannot. Oh, you know what? That's the first time I've noticed my secondary power-up. Okay, made it through 2. I'm over the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, apparently I've maxed out the power on my weapon. And our goal is just to see how... Oh, I guess that was it. So yes, that whole goal was to max out my weapon. Now we're in the US. Am I gonna destroy the Statue of Liberty? Okay, so it was yen in Japan, and now I'm collecting dollars because I'm in the US. I feel like the max power-up only lasts a certain amount of time. Oh. This is one of those games where it's very hard to tell when those smaller power-ups are going to hit you because your main weapon is also covering up those projectiles. Oh. I don't know how I'm avoiding those, but I am. And you'll notice that the more intense the gameplay, the less I'm going to talk. I was avoiding that for how long? I died there a lot less times than I thought I would. Getting pretty far on 4 quarters. Already up to stage 5. Although this is on the easy difficulty setting. Now my power-up's back to almost nothing. Easy, I wonder what country currency I'm in now. Power-ups would be more than helpful now. There's a power-up, but... Another power-up. Oh. Got a large amount of the background moving. Sheesh. Okay, can't grab any of those because they... Oh. I'm out of my secondary weapon. I feel like this power-up is very hard to get. And that's it. I think it's game over. I did hit the top score. If you guys can get that on easy on the first playthrough, card save, why not? We'll save over Nam. Interesting game. For Sonic Wings 2 / Aero fighters. I do like the more realistic fighters, but I mean, or at least ones based on real spacecraft. Aircraft. Real spacecraft. Yes, I like the ones where they fight in space for real. That's the best one I can hope to do. Alright. We will try a different one here in just a little bit. I'm going to swap that again. You guys want to try a beat 'em up for the NeoGeo? Since I still have it hooked up. I'll look up and see one that I have not done yet. I mean, there's tons of fighters. I keep looking for that wasp. One of these days, you're just going to see like a little wasp that I Photoshop onto here, or blue screen on here. Oh, we got some shmup requests. Let's take a look at what the beat 'em up genre's got for me. Let's turn that back on. And it all depends. I don't have every single game for this system. I have a bunch of them on the 161 cart. I was able to rip and get ROM files off of, but... So we did Ninja Combat. I don't think I've done Sengoku yet, have I? That's what I wanted to try. Let's try Sengoku. That was a launch title. And if I have, we'll have to try something else. Caladarius Blaze would be a good one. I might try that one later on. I don't know if I have it. Out of those that you mentioned, probably Caladarius Blaze would, I don't know if I... Calidrius? I don't even know how you say it. I add an extra A into that. Sounds like it's back up. Oh yeah, and again, this is from real hardware, just like both things I've actually streamed today were both from real hardware. This game was actually an MVS cart that was converted into a AES cart. That's your spirit guide, that fly, like Chipotle from Star Trek Voyager. I said Chipotle. Chakotay. Oh, is that racist? Probably. Alright, let's try something different. Chipotle. I must not have had a good dinner yet. SNK. Sengoku. First arcade game. There we go. Images. What? It had the box art for it right here. Oh, there we go. We got some parallax scrolling in the background. I can't tell if they're using sprites for the back layer on this one, or since those are moving, if they're using the background layer for that. Very interesting how they were able to accomplish the parallax scrolling on Hey, OXO, welcome to the stream. If you guys see me in a panic run out of here, that's just because there's some sort of bug with wings that is large. I think the scariest thing about it is that it's unidentified. It's an unidentifying flying bug. I should be playing Psychosis for the TurboGrafx because that just seems like how I'm doing. I like Side Battler the most right now. Haven't played them all. Alright. It says load. Oh yes, I probably have something saved on here because, again, not my memory card. Learning the moves here. B is jump. C is special. A is a whole bunch of different things. Oh, I can transform into someone else. Yeah, I have no idea what that meant. Come on. Take it. There we go. I like that. Oh. I'm liking the graphical style so far. Sprites are very large, like what you would see in the arcade. A lot of like 3D and depth movement. It's giving me all these different weapons every time I defeat an enemy. Interesting. Am I supposed to be fighting the skull head? Yeah. Drink wild soda. Well, they definitely got the advertisements right here. Oh, I've got lava erupting in the middle of the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, jeez. How are they deflecting my blue thingy? To be quite honest, I'm not actually sure what's going on the screen. I mean, I kind of get it. Interesting. This is a highly rated game on this system, like, as one of the... Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm out of... I'm out of little fireballs, I guess. And there's my first life down. I would really like to have had a weapon right about now. Change, okay. Why not? Why am I not able to... What just happened? Come on. There we go. Give me a weapon that I can use. I just ran out. I just completely ran out of lives right there. I hope this isn't like the rest of the game where I'm just fighting these. It'd be great if maybe some of this game was in English for me, because I don't know what... I don't know. I'm assuming it's giving me hints on how to play. So far, this is unlike any other beat-em-up I have played. Like these enemies just kind of teleport in, I guess. Okay, here we go. It changed, and that guy's still handing my rear end to me. And he just keeps draining my life. This guy's the quarter eater. So I'm wondering if they're going to do like what everyone does. They just stand just outside the plane that I'm on so they don't get hit. Oh, we have a minivan advertisement for some reason. Am I supposed to be avoiding heading up here? I don't know what I'm doing to get up here. Come on. No! Stop. Stop doing that. I hit him once. I think I figured that out. Not quite sure what's going on there. Come on, give me a weapon. There we go. My goal is not to pick up any other orbs that I don't want. I was going to say that guy's so much easier to defeat with a sword, but he's not. There we go. By the way, warning with the... Oh my gosh. Okay. Now we're fighting on some horses. Yeah, like one hit in, and he gets like a hit or two in. Not quite sure if I'm making progress on this guy or not. It appears I am. Alright, pause it at stage 2. Let's see here. Sengoku, this and JJ speakers like acid flashbacks. No drug warnings before those games? No, and this is the... I don't know if that has to do with this is a Japanese console, so all of them are loading up like they're in Japan. But I'm assuming... Well, I don't know, it's from the FBI, so maybe not. Chakotay was a very underused character in Voyager. I agree with that, OXO. I know I've got the Valley Bear. I did finish, by the way. I just finished Star Trek Deep Space Nine for the first time. So, if anybody knows how it ends, don't spoil it or anything. The only thing I'll say is that it was a lot of build-up towards, I guess, something that should have seemed more epic than it was, but it really wasn't. So, overall, I mean, I don't feel like I wasted my time with the series, but, yeah, I wouldn't call it the best Star Trek series like a lot of people do. Winners don't use drugs. Watch the Voyager outtakes, he's hilarious. Yeah, it seems like he's trying to stave off boredom, isn't it? What are your thoughts on GameSack's review of the NeoGeo system and its games? You know what? I don't think I've seen it, to be quite honest. I would have to look them up. I mean, if you think it was quite harsh, I'll take your word for it. They can be kind of harsh on certain things, but they're also major sticklers on, like, getting the highest quality HD picture out of your original console. I will say, like, GameSack and a couple other people are the reason why I got turned on to the Retro Tank at all. And I was waiting for something like the 5X. I don't want to say I didn't really need the 5X Pro, but I will say that oh, there we go. Like, My Life and RGB and GameSack are both kind of sticklers for things that I'm not really a stickler for in my video games. So, yeah, I don't know. I am definitely not opposed to watching it. I just haven't. It hasn't come up when I've been looking for stuff. Then again, one of the reasons too is I like to try to avoid other reviewers at the time that I start doing my own review, so I don't just reiterate certain things. I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of what I agree with, or something like that. I don't want to be accused of just copying other reviewers at that point. I have the sneaking suspicion my opinion is going to be different than a lot of people on this console. Well, I don't want to say a lot of people. It's going to be different enough to where hopefully I can put it in perspective. What the world? Is disembodied head starts going? There we go. It looks like I just hit a wig. Parts of this game remind me of Altered Beast. Parts of it. Like I gotta figure out what I'm doing here on every single playthrough of the game. And I can alter my form. Oh, I can still continue. Oh, and I can turn into an animal. Okay, the Ultra Beast references are back, but that was terrible. Let's try. What? While I'm trying to decide what to change into, this guy can just sit there and hack the crap out of me, so I can't do anything? No, thank you. Sorry, that's one of those. This game's review just went down by like 5 points. I know it's an arcade game and they don't want you taking forever, but come on. You can wait 5 seconds for me to change my character. There we go. So that way I have to force myself to play everyone as the base character, so it eats my quarters. That's horrible game design. That is probably the same thing. That is the equivalent of loot boxes today. Loot boxes and paid content. Oh, you want to be able to change your character? Well, it's in the game, but you gotta pay for it every time you do it. What? How were they able to hit me? Don't step on a crack or you'll break your mother's back. How are those people without swords fighting off the person with a sword? I'll have this for like 2 seconds. Yep, he just stays right outside my hit plane. Nice. Got the good rhythm down there. Oh, great. 2 of these guys. Perfect. Good thing I don't have to pump in my own quarters into this thing. Pause for just a second. What beat 'em up are you looking forward to being released? That's a good question. I don't know very many coming out. DS9 was epic, but I do know I really like Star Trek Enterprise, which most don't. So that's funny, OXO, that you mentioned that, because guess what I'm doing now that I finished Deep Space Nine, and hopefully before it's off of Netflix, I'm going to... I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Enterprise. And the reason why I stopped watching back in the day, I actually watched them when they were on, and I haven't seen them since. I watched them when they were on UPN. And I stopped watching when, at the end of Season 2, they just randomly destroy the entire state of Florida. And I remember it was right around the time that, you know, obviously after 9/11 happened, we're all going in the Middle East, and I thought it was the show's shallow attempt to try to parabolize 9/11, and I thought it was way too soon. Watching it now, I have a different perspective on it. I actually went back and watched some of the first season, and I realize now how much, like, I heard a lot of people say, oh, the first season of Enterprise was not very good, or it doesn't hold up well. And I do agree, it is all over the place, the first season of Star Trek Enterprise is. It's almost like the show doesn't know what it's going to be. It halfway feels like Star Trek, but with a captain that is not, it's not a person you can root for. Captain Archer on the first season is not really, I'll say, is not a model captain, and I think they were trying to go for something different, but they shouldn't have gone into the past to do it. So I don't know how to describe it other than Captain Archer was kind of a weird, it's kind of an off captain. Doesn't feel like a Star Trek captain, is what I'll say. Then again, Benjamin Sisko didn't really feel that way either. And I thought he was okay. I still would rank him pretty low in the captains that I like, only because he was more of a wartime captain, and Star Trek is not really a wartime show. Oh my gosh, look at this. I can't take 2 steps. And as soon as I take 2 steps, he gets so far away from me. This could be where my playthrough ends of Sengoku. And every time he just flings me back, so here we go. And he moves at the same exact speed that I do. So I keep destroying these things just to try to get near him for a half a second. It's not working out. This is the other quarterbuster level, but anyway, so I couldn't get back through the first season of Star Trek Enterprise when I tried to rewatch it again. And I don't remember almost anything of the second season. I remember the temporal Cold War thing a little bit. But anyway, now I'm starting to rewatch. I've started not to rewatch. I'm starting to watch for the first time Season 3 of Enterprise. And when I'm done with this, I should be able to claim that except for anything made in the last 2 years, I've seen every episode of Star Trek. I have seen Star Trek Picard. The only thing I'm not up to date on is Discovery and Strange New World and Lower Decks. Like I said, all the newest shows. This is just a quarter hog of a stage. There we go. Only took like $18 to get there, but I finally beat that one. And the stage is not over. I'm with you, Ty. Sorry for bringing that up. Oh, I don't know what that's in. It's been too long. I don't remember what that's in reference to. Joe from Game Shack was a bit harsh. Oh, okay. No, that's all right. Don't be afraid to bring up a topic. I'll let you guys know what I think about it if I've seen it. What beat 'em up are you looking forward to being released? Oh, I've already seen that. Oh, never mind. I'm rereading old comments, so that's why I don't know. It's like saying Capcom nowadays with CPS2. Anyways, I don't think it's fair to compare arcade company catalogs to real consoles. Yeah, that's true. I would agree with that. Literally binge watch Star Trek every night to help you sleep. Seen literally every episode in the entire series. Come on, Discovery Season 4. Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I'm starting to watch, and you're right, I watch like an episode or 2 before bed. Usually if I can. Usually while I'm working. Doing some online grading or something like that. Well, I admit there's a lot of bad eps in Enterprise, but you think it was okay overall. I was a big Quantum Leap fan, so you might consider another reason why I like it. Yeah. Yeah, Picard Season 2 is what I'm looking forward to as well. The more I hear about Picard Season 2, it's almost like they're finally going to start doing something that would appeal to the fans. I did not mean to change to this guy. I want to change to this. No, I don't. I want to change to the guy with the sword. Why is that so hard? And that still didn't make any difference. I think part of the reason why my hand goes numb is because I have to hold the controller against me for it to work. And it makes my hand hurt after a while, and I have to press the button every single time I want to do some sort of action on the screen. This is an interesting game and concept. I wonder how it... Oh, I was like, why am I not fighting anymore? Another quarter down. I wonder how a home version of this would have worked out. I know I'm playing the home version, but I'm playing the arcade version on the home console. I'm thinking more like, how would a Super Nintendo port of this would have worked out? Genesis may have been a close. Then again, the Genesis had the same processor as this did. The NeoGeo. The 68,000 was like, I guess, the first 16-bit processor everyone thought everyone was going to use. I don't know what the Super Nintendo uses, but it's not the 68,000. Another quarter down. Definitely prefer to play this on a home console. Oh, geez. That thing is difficult to look at. I don't know if it has antlers growing out of its shoulders or what that is. I say for a while I'm actually doing better with this form than I was with the, yeah. Did better with this form than the other one. Loved them all. Star Trek Online must be a continuation of the series. A must play for any Trekkie. Q. Oh, yes. Be very happy to see Q come back. Also be happy to see more like I heard the Borg Queen is coming back too with a different actress. So that was only the first 2 stages, but I think that's going to be where I pause it for this playthrough of this game. Just to be real here. Let's take a look at where I'm at. I'm at 2 hours and 15 minutes into the stream. I already feel a little tired. I'm all tuckered out from playing my video games. Sengoku is an interesting title, but it's very confusing. I'll have to play that again off the stream so I can hear the sound better and see what's going on. Which of your collections do I like the most? Oh gosh, that's a great question. Right now, the NeoGeo. I don't know. I think the most nostalgic one for me is the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's the one I don't want to say I really enjoy collecting for more than others, but that's what when I say video game collecting, I was really meaning either the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo Entertainment System. Those are 2 very iconic and very nostalgic systems for me. The Sega Genesis was a treat to collect for, more so than I thought it was going to be, just because of how accessible it is to collect things on there. We're switching games, by the way. I'm not ending the stream. I know I just said I'm getting a little tired. Getting a little tuckered out. You know what I just thought? There's no Wheel of Fortune on NeoGeo, because I was thinking if I was going to end the stream, I should do that. You guys see the bags underneath my eyes? I don't know what it is about the day before I go back to school, but that night I sleep and I have very vivid dreams and I wake up very frequently because I don't know if it's just the excitement of the upcoming school day or the fact that I'm nervous that I'm not going to wake up on time. This year I've been having longer days because I go to work earlier and I get out of work later than I did last year. So I'm looking for, that was a beat 'em up. Let's try another, either a fighting game or a shooter. Not very many platform games. Let's see what we got for fighters. That is not a series. There's a game called Breakers. Oh, well, here's a fighting game that's we should definitely do. If I have it, and I do. Again, we'll let that load, and we'll go through there. But yes, Picard Season 2 is one of the reasons, is going to be the next reason why I get Paramount Plus. I've never actually paid for Paramount Plus. I got the free trial of CBS All Access the last time Picard was on, and that's when I watched Discovery Seasons 1 and 2. And Discovery's okay. I think it's getting better as it goes along, but Season 2 had a really, I don't want to say confusing, but a very convoluted, I don't know, I think they were trying to throw too much at Discovery. But after watching Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, and all of the shows they're doing right now make a lot more sense. Because Deep Space Nine was considered groundbreaking for Star Trek, and apparently Voyager didn't live up to the potential because it wasn't like Deep Space Nine. But I like Voyager, I like Deep Space Nine, but both for different reasons. But I would consider Voyager more like Star Trek than Deep Space Nine was. Even though it doesn't feature many of the traditional Star Trek aliens, they bring a whole bunch of new creatures into the series, and of course they had the Borg, which was on there as well. It's the only reason why you have Paramount Plus. Well, I usually like holding out until the show's available, and I'll pay for it for a month, and I'll drop it the next month. Wait until the next one comes out. That's the way I have to do it, until they tell me I can't do that anymore. I'd rather spend my money collecting video games. Excuse me. That is interesting. They have an FMV in this game. So yep, here we go. I have to do the Double Dragon fighting game eventually. I do like Double Dragon. We were just talking about some beat-em-ups. Holy cow. And I should warn you about the flashing. Stefan Walker, I definitely agree. Whenever the Borg and 7 of 9 show up, the show gets better. I really feel like it could have used another season. Again, they could have utilized Chakotay a little bit better. But overall, I don't know. Kess, I think, was also underutilized, but she was also just not that interesting of a character. I mean, it was kind of interesting because, like, oh, they gave her a lifespan of only 7 years. Or 7 years or 10 years or something like that, so they didn't make him live that long. And they talked about her psychokinetic powers. And the first time they do something with her telepathic powers, they use it to write her out of the show. But before that, I mean, if you think about it, she didn't really have much of an impact on what happened on the show. Neelix wasn't as interesting until later on when they were finally able to utilize him correctly. It's almost as if, I don't know how to describe why the show wasn't that interesting in the first 3 seasons, but 4, 5, 6, and 7 definitely made it better. Absolutely love DS9, hated initially. Thomas, I'm the same way with you. I had absolutely zero interest in watching it. I actually forced myself to start watching it on Netflix over a year ago, and it took me a year off and on of watching it to finally get back to finishing it. And it's okay, like it's Star Trek. The only thing I really don't like is how they really focus on the war effort. Doesn't make it really seem like a Star Trek show. I just like watching this opening FMV the whole time. They use all the buttons, each for a different move. Okay, they have 4 buttons and they still make up the jump button. I guess it wouldn't be a Japanese game without it, huh? I like how even though it's not in English, I can still figure out what the buttons are supposed to do there. Beginner mode, please. Again, it is a fighter game, so I don't expect to play this for very long. Oh yes, I can learn their specials like right now. Let's go, Billy.
Billy versus Jimmy.
Billy versus Jimmy.
Round 1. Fight.
Okay, the background scaling, that's awesome. And the background's very interactive. I want to know how I use my charge. This is going to be very close. But I win. Okay. I don't like that it uses all the buttons so far, but it's not too bad. I definitely will have to sit down and figure out how to use the special moves before I can actually use them. What else do I want? Oh, something's not very powerful.
Billy versus Ammon.
I like how you can choose whoever you're fighting against. Another interactive background here. A little ambitious with the
Round 1. Fight.
stuff going on there. I really feel like that they're really heavy on the, There we go. It says I have the charge, but I don't know how to use the charge. I honestly don't know how I won that one.
Billy wins.
Voyager wasn't your favorite Star Trek, but it did have a lot of standout two-part episodes of any show. Yes, it did. One of my favorite shows of Voyager, which I think is one of the best shows in all of Star Trek history, is, I think it's... Is it Eye of the Needle? No. I'm trying to think. It's the one where they encounter the planet that experiences time in different than all the rest of the galaxy. I can't remember what that one's actually called. But it's kind of like the Picard's Flute episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. It's one of my favorite episodes in all of Star Trek is in that episode. And it's very under... Wow, I like how they have the digitized images there. This lady's kicking my butt. Oh! I don't know how I did that, but I think I figured that out. Oh, and there's a few more like that. Come on. Nope. Billy lose. And that's it. So again, kind of an initial run playthrough. Like I said, I don't play the fighter games for too long. And there are a ton of them on here, so I need to try to play as many of these as I can. But as soon as I saw Double Dragon, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to try out the Double Dragon fighter. Definitely got to do that sometime. If we see another one on here I can try. Let's go ahead and try this out. I know there's another way to tell it to reset back to the menu, then turn it off and turn it back on, but that's what I'll have to do. I thought this is a beat 'em up and an arcade port. Nope, it's a fighter. It's Double Dragon the fighter, pretty much. Let's get away from fighting games. I know there's a ton of them on here. I have 3 pages of slides that have all of them listed. And then the other 2 slides are like all the fighting series that they have on here. We could try another shoot 'em up. Let's try... I already did all the launch titles. Oh, perfect. I got the next one. Actually, wait a minute. Let me see what I already have footage of. Game captures. NeoGeo. AES. And yep, I've already played that one. So the one I was going to try, I've already played. Let's try Twinkle Star Sprites if I have it. Well, wouldn't you know it? I do have it. Let that load up here. Are the controls Street Fighter 2 like? More like the arcade one maybe, where each button does a different control. Top kick, low kick, high punch, low punch, and all that. Or, I'm sorry, weak punch, strong punch. There we go. Weak kick and strong kick. And then, yes, everything is controlled through in what order you click them with the direction of the stick. And those are very hard for me to master just because I'm not used to playing the game. And I'm not gonna spend the time to master those types of controls because it would take a long time to do that for each game. That game is kind of pick up and play though. That'd be fun to play against 2 players. I think all fighting games are much better played with 2 players. I mean, just to be honest. Even if that person is 10 times better than you and kicks your rear end all the time, at least it's a person that is beating you and not the computer. This game is called Twinkle Star Sprites. And I don't think I've ever played this game before. I think if I had to point it out, it may be a cute 'em up. And there's a little story if you guys can read Japanese, I'm assuming that language is in. The music doesn't actually sound like any of the other music I've heard on the NeoGeo.
Twinkle star, Sprites.
I do like the
Let's go.
English-Japanese title of that. So they're going to tell you how to play the game, but I can't read it, so maybe I'll have to skip this part. I don't know if it's only going to take up half the screen or if that's just what the tutorial does. I'm learning a little bit how to play it, or at least what's possible in terms of the moveset.
Reversal. Extra attack.
Oh, let's just go. Option. Heh. I like how the most difficult is just the MVS one. Let's go with 1 star. I don't know what that is. Auto shot on, please. I feel like those are all dip switches in the arcade version. Okay, move around, obviously. Shoot, shoot. Secondary weapon. And if I'm right... What is that? Huh.
Reversal.
Just paying attention to the details now. I have no idea. This game ever receive a console port other than NeoGeo? Okay, so this is apparently normally a 2-player shooter. Oh, the auto shoot is so much better. I think this is just like a competitive shooter. Gotta be. Because it looks like I have to play against the computer if I don't play against another person. Oops. And somehow I won. Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing. But it's a competitive shooter, it looks like. And because it's set up like a competitive puzzle game. Is it so much easier with an auto shot? I don't know how I keep winning, but I keep winning. Hey, Gotti Jr., welcome to the stream. What's going on? Hey, what's going on? I kind of like this game for its unique concept. It's not a game that we would see over here in the States very often. So I am very just intrigued by this game concept in general, of a competitive kind of puzzle shooter. Oh no, I got hit. Reverse attack KO. Again, I don't know how I'm winning. I just know that if I do good on my side, the other guy will eventually lose. Then again, I am playing on the easiest difficulty. Oh, what did I hit? Or rather, should I say, what did I not hit? Oh, I think that was me. I'm out. First time I lost. Is that game over? Nope, get to go again. Yeah, you can just tell. I can just tell I was doing poorly on that one. I can tell I'm doing much better on this one. Oh. Keep sending his projectiles back over to him. Okay, I see my health now in comparison to my opponents. We're pretty well tied at this point. Oh! Did I... No! At the very end he got me. Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this now. Starting to understand what in the world I'm doing here. I will admit this game slows down a lot. I kind of wonder what it would take to slow down the system of all the sprites it needs. Got him. See? Sorry guys, distracted. This sounds like sick of goodness. What game now? This is called Twinkle Star Sprites. I couldn't find an English version translation. Apparently this also came out for the Sega Saturn. So you might be right about the Sega. Oh yes, the TurboGrafx has some surprisingly good shoot 'em ups. This is the only one I know of that's like a competitive shooter that you have two people playing at the same time. But I think that's because other home consoles definitely would have struggled with this. Oh, he got me good with one hit. All I need is one more good hit for him. Oh, avoided that attack. Yeah, what do you do against that, Buster? There we go. We're doing good. This game would really be fun to play against another person. The Sega Saturn version that I see on here is also from Japan. This also came out on the NeoGeo CD in Japan. I don't think it ever came over to the States. This music sounds more serious. Oh no. Hit him. Oh, jeez. This one's a lot harder. Yes, it's not two-player co-op, two-player competitive. Twinkle Star Sprites. The name keeps coming up. Oh, I got a high score. So that's the box art I have off to the side there, but yes. I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. That was a pretty good run through. Oh, it's not going to stop capturing there for a second. Let me see if I can get an English translation of the box art. And it did not update on here when I saved it, so let me see. Oops, let me see if I can delete that. Number one highest score on my first. Oh, it's because it's a JPEG and not that. Not a PNG like my other image was. That's the English translation of the game. It's an interesting game. So Twinkle Star Sprites. I had no idea what to expect from this game. It is a competitive shooter. I would love to play that two-player and see what that looks like. Let's see what else this came out on. Let's see what the pricing is for the Saturn. Arcade. Oh, it only came out on the MVS, is what this is saying. So that's why. Didn't come out on the AES. It was Alpha Densyo's last production on the NeoGeo. Combination of a fixed puzzle shooter and a versus puzzle game, which is exactly the vibes I was getting off of this. Well-timed power-ups attempt to damage the opponent. These attacks also serve as counters to the opponent's attack, and that's what I was coming up with there. So that's why I was very interested to see this. This would have been great to play in the arcade. I would love to play this again two-player. I need to get another controller for this console. Let's try... Let's see what the pricing is for this. Twinkle Star Sprites. The NeoGeo, this cartridge loose is around $500 to $600. Complete inbox is $1,000. The Sega Saturn is a much more reasonable $150 for a complete inbox. And it's the Sega Saturn Japan, and it's about $70 loose. So that's a little high for loose, but a lot cheaper than the NeoGeo. But it also came out apparently for the Dreamcast in Japan as well. Now the Dreamcast is region locked, the Sega Saturn's region locked as well, but it's a lot easier to... Yep, $149 on eBay, thank you. So I was going to say it's a lot easier to unregion lock your Sega Saturn than it is to unregion lock your, what am I thinking of? Your Sega Dreamcast. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to go again on this one. Assuming this is letting me know what stage do I want to start in. I have no idea. Oh. Oh, this I think just selected 2-player. Yep. So I should probably change that. Might have to reset the cartridge. Oh, I can definitely get farther on this one because they're just going to sit there. Oh, I just realized something. I can hold down the button and charge up. I was not doing that before. I was pressing it every single time or using the auto fire. So maybe I'll get a little bit farther this time. Unless it's best to... Yeah, it's best out of 3. What I would really like to try out. See if this. Sometimes this controller does not work well, but this is the joypad controller. Ha! I won on that one, but if I'm right, I don't think the directional pad buttons will work. See if I can do this 2-player. Oh, they are working. There's my auto fire. So yeah, that controller's working with it. I can play this 2 players. But I can't play it 2 players at once. So this controller I have here is like a custom modified Sega Saturn 6-button controller built to work with it, but sometimes the directional buttons don't want to work, and I don't know if it's by game, if it's just not outputting the signal that it's expecting, or what. Tied up again. I'll have to go back to playing against the computer here in a second. Final round. Yes, this game would really be fun to play against 2 people. I'm just going to reset that. Excuse me. You need a friend to play the two-player game. I know, I had one on a couple weeks ago. I'll see if he can come back sometime and we'll play some of these. I don't know how much he's going to want to play Cute-em-ups, but... Turn this back on to, yep, that's all set correctly. I don't know what this other game option is. So that's two-player. Is this single-player? Without a competitor? Let's do the regular. Let's see what this does. Need some water down here. I'm out of secondary attacks. That's tough. It'd also be great if there was a controller that worked over IP to where you could just jump on it with me. Kind of like what the Nintendo Switch can do. Oops. I keep accidentally pressing that button, and I'm sure not to my benefit that it keeps doing that. I think I'm doing better. I have no idea where that was coming from. That's a lot harder. This mode is harder than the other one. Street Fighter Puzzle was really cute, but really fun. Yeah. I agree with that as well. Super Puzzle Fighter Turbo. This game's pretty fun. I would definitely like to try out the two-player on it, but I really like... I just like that it's a competitive shooter. There's not any other game like this that I've played so far that I can think of off the top of my head anyway. Did not mean to hit that. There we go. Yeah, I think Puzzle Fighter 2 may be on the NeoGeo, and if it is, I'll have to play that sometime. Sorry, I'm just like getting into this and I've stopped talking and communicating with the chat, but it feels like we're kind of winding down for tonight anyway. We're almost at that 3-hour mark, which is about what I aim for. Oh, how did I already get hit? I feel like that was over quickly before it began. Oh, so close. A slowdown hits you and it just destroys your momentum. And how'd I do? I said I got third.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Oops. I guess I should have kept that going.
1, 0.
Do I want to save? Sure. We will save over. Gosh, I'm running out of things to save over here. I don't know what Miracle Adventure. Yeah, we'll save over World Heroes 2. And I should have first and third, it looks like. That middle stage thing, yep. That middle stage thing I thought was the easiest. Even though I was playing on easy on all of those. Well, I think that's about going to do it for me tonight. We are 2 hours and 55 minutes into the stream, and it is about time for me to finish up my online greetings so I can go to bed. So yeah, definitely had some fun playing tonight. We played some Streets of Rage 4 pre-captured stuff. And then I played... What else did I play tonight? I tried some Aero Fighters, which is also known as like Sonic Wing or Sonic Wave or something like that. I played some Sengoku, Double Dragon, and then finished out with Twinkle Star Sprites for the NeoGeo. The news is that I probably will not have a video out this week. So the next time I will see you guys will most likely be on next Tuesday when I stream again. The reasoning for the delay in the video is that I just didn't have any time to work on it this weekend. As I said, I went out camping with the family, so definitely didn't have enough time to get working on that. And there's a lot of stuff I need to get done for that video. Been doing a lot of research on it, so you're engrossed in the game. A good sign it's a great game, dude. Yep. When you guys don't hear me talking and I'm not interacting with you guys as much, it's either I'm really focused and concentrating, or it's because I'm really enjoying the game. And I think it was a little bit of both with this game. Twinkle Star Sprites. Who would have thunk it? I've had this game on this cartridge this whole time, and I never thought I should try to play it. This would be a great one to pull out at parties. Like, just have this game just up there and be like, hey, you guys should try playing each other in this game and see if you can knock each other out in a space shooter. There's just nothing else like it. There really isn't. So, left a very good first impression. I'll have to play this again a few more times. I'd like to get the Sega Saturn version, actually, because that's the one I'd probably... if I had a system I would bring out more often, it'd probably be the Sega Saturn. This thing I kind of stuck here because of its value, but yeah, definitely had a lot of fun with it. Well, as I said, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I will see you guys next Tuesday in the stream. I usually try to start around 6 p.m. I've started... Oh, I did want to let you guys know right before I let you go that the esports thing has been started up today. Starting to coach Overwatch, so I may be on streaming with them sometime if I get some students together who want to practice and maybe practice with a coach. I can do something like that. So fun and exciting times. Definitely never a dull moment around here. So, but of course, I hope to have the next video that I'm working on that's really big is the launch of the NeoGeo. So I don't know if I'll have something ready to go for Thursday or not. It's not going to be the launch of the NeoGeo. I have to do a lot of research on it because it's not really that well documented. There's a lot of stuff out there basically that I need to confirm and do actually some primary research on because, I mean, there's no one else who's gone through and said, yep, this is what the launch was like for the NeoGeo. And there's still a lot of stuff, a lot of gaps I have to fill in the research before I can get the video out. But anyway, not to put too fine a point on it, thank you everyone who joined me in the stream tonight. Again, I hope to see you guys on Tuesday. This Thursday, you guys should go out and check out some of the backlog I've got. I got tons of videos that you guys would most likely enjoy if you haven't already seen them. Most of you guys have that are on, so. That said, I hope you guys have an excellent night, have a great week, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday.